Anna here. Today I'll be taking a look at Dust in the Wings by Board and Dice, a Makala style family game where you'll be moving around these butterflies around the meadow to score the most points. I'll first explain the game and then I'll talk about if I want to stay on this meadow a little while longer. In Dust in the Wings, you're trying to score the most points by cleverly moving and placing the butterflies in the meadow. When it is your turn, you pick one of the meadow spaces, so for example this one, and this will be the amount of spaces you have to move, so 3. Every space that you pause, you have to put down one of the butterflies, and the last space will be the scoring space. You can score in one of two ways. The first one I will show you by moving this one here. Now this space, which is my scoring space, matches this card, which means that I will score this card. I can score this card and I will get this crystal. This crystal is worth 1 point. The white crystals are worth 2 points. As soon as you're done with this, a new card will be added, and in every one of these 3 spaces a crystal will be added, and as you can see there are 3 spaces for crystals, so as soon as you put down a 4th, the card will be taken away and all of the crystals that were on the card will be put back into the bag to be scored again. The other way that you can score is with these cards, which require a certain amount of groups or grouping of the butterflies. So for example, in this one, you are only allowed to have 4 butterflies in that row. The scoring tile has to be part of that row. In this one, you need to have the same amount of butterflies in every one of these 3 spaces, and in this one, you just need, in this space, you need to have less than 3 or 3 butterflies in that space, and like that, you have different shapes and requirements for the butterfly cards, and the points you can see right there. If you score one of these, there also will be a crystal added, so you have to keep that in mind to make sure that your opponent will not score more points just because you score one of these cards. The game will be over as soon as all of the crystals are gone. Then everyone will count up their points from these cards and from the crystals, and the player with the most points wins the game of Dust in the Wings. As you've probably already noticed from the explanation, this is not a heavy abstract game. Moreover, this is more of a family weight abstract game that you can just play whenever with whomever. Would I bring this to a game night? Probably not. This is more a game that I would play with girlfriends that don't really play that much games, probably with something like tea, and this will be a game that we play about 30 minutes and just a nice activity. Normally, abstract games are of course very thinky. This game is not thinky. How can I explain this? Yes, you have to think about, of course, about what you're gonna do, but it feels like more of a given what the best move is, and you just have to make sure that you don't do something stupid. In difference to a game where you really have to think about what the best solution is and what your best strategy or tactics is and what you want to do next, and it feels like your own accomplishment. That's not really the thing with this game. Maybe that's just because I'm very good at seeing patterns. Well, I don't think so, because other players that I played with have this pretty much the same experience. The most important thing is that you don't want to have the thing that an opponent does something because you did a wrong move or something like that. It feels a little bit meditative, and like mindful, and drinking a tea and just moving around these butterflies and thinking about where can I move it. And it's also partly due how it looks, because this game looks amazing. I really like this clean kind of look, what they also did with like Time Stories or Tokaido. So this is something that speaks to me, and I really like the theme, of course, of the butterflies, and it just looks very nice on the table with the meadow and stuff like that, and it's just very visual. And I like that a lot, and it's just fun to think about very visually, like how am I gonna move these butterflies and make sure that I have a group. And that's also a thing, I think, why it's great with younger children, because it is so visual. It's a great game to teach them about this Mancala style movement and trying to get to that certain solution that you want to get, of getting things in a row or getting a group of butterflies. And because it is so visual, it's a great game to play. So like I said, it is very light. I did enjoy it. I don't think I will bring this out a lot on game nights, but it is a nice thing to have in your on your game shelves when you just want something which is fun and feels less like a game and more like an activity that you can just slowly do. And for those kind of players, I can really recommend Dust in the Wings by Boards and Dice.